You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
That's a lot of people with like yawning. You just see someone yawn.
That happens to me.
And like, even if you think about it too long, you'll start yawning. But no, I just love fucking with people. Like if I'm around someone long enough, I could do it. Just little things, you know what I'm saying? Just the smallest of the small.
Your own form of being Doctor Strange.
Well, no, it's a tick. I'm not trying to give someone Tourette's by proxy, but like.
All right, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of The Couch Potatoes. I'm Alex
Morrison.
And this week, I figure we can actually go about this similar to what we did a couple weeks ago with the Batman. We've been wanting to do an episode on Doctor Strange for a minute. We were going to have a special guest with us, a couple different special guests, but everyone kept being a little too busy, so it's like, screw it, we're here now. But same thing with the Batman. It's been out for a minute, so if we just gave like a straight play-by, it's not been out long enough for us to do a retrospective to where we plot out the movie, but it's also not recent enough to where we should go through and plot the movie. It's like it's still pretty fresh on everyone's minds. Spoilers ahead of time, if you're even that. Okay,
just give it away.
Side note: we've brought up spoilers and all these things before. If you've not watched insert movie or TV show here, and you click on a video, you can't get mad about a spoiler. Or you click on a podcast about it, you can't get mad about a spoiler. No. You can't. And I've never understood that part of the culture. It's like, for instance, at the time of recording this, I've not watched Stranger Things Season 4 yet. So guess what? I've not clicked on any video that has Stranger Things Season 4 in it because I don't want it spoiled for me. Yeah. It's like, it's one thing if you just, someone's being a dick and post it on Facebook or Twitter or Imager or something. Yeah. But like, if it's a video on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube rather, just stop. Yeah. Or a podcast.
I remember listening to a podcast and they would say that all the time. And it was just like, it was a series about murder mysteries. And it was like, it's not really a mystery. It's a well-known fact that person is dead.
And they're not saying it like ironically, like, and spoiler alert, she took a blunt object to the head.
Yeah, it's not like, oh no, Nicole Brown Simpson might be alive. No, she's not. No. Spoiler alert, he did cut her fucking head off.
And spoiler alert, we had a pretty good movie, I'd say, with Doctor Strange, especially.
That was the first time I was back at the movies for a minute.
Yeah, because you didn't see Batman. Well, no.
I hadn't went to the movies till about 2020, January of 2020.
Yep, because I was going to say we downloaded both Spider-Man and Batman to watch here, and then we finally went out to go see the wizard himself.
Sam Raimi's Wizard of Oz.
Okay, yeah. Straight off the bat, you could tell this was a Sam Raimi film, and that's something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's like even down to like the cinematography, the way certain scenes were done. This really did feel like a Sam Raimi movie, and I really enjoyed that.
Sam Raimi has a lot of techniques that are copied a lot that he invented, especially for just the horror genre, not succeeding. Especially the practical effect he uses when speeding up a shot, like going into like Evil Dead. They even did it in the remake, was the low to ground speed shot. And it's basically a camera hovering over the ground and going as fast as it can. He does that in the beginning shot where it's a downward spiral, but it's close enough you can kind of get a kind of feel of how fast is this camera moving. It's a nice zoom in shot just going into America Chavez and Doctor Strange getting run down.
Oh yeah, and all the different action points of the series were really good, and I think we brought it up on the Moon Knight episode our Moon Knight episode, how it felt like this series was a little bit more brutal with blood and gun violence. This movie, within 5 minutes, has a version of Doctor Strange taking a tendril straight through the chest.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck, okay, they are. What are they going to do the rest of this movie?
Yeah. A character that kind of like, even in the preview, it seemed like, all right, this one might make a difference. Like this one Doctor Strange with the hair tied back. I had kind of a weird look. If this one speaks Spanish, just by watching the movie, and it kind of, I'm glad they showed that in the trailer, because when it opens up like that, you got so much more room to fuck around with. And me and you both watched all the stuff coming up toward the point before even the showing, and I remember watching some of those, and I love hearing the fan theories. And I'm like, yeah, this person might be in it, this person's going to be in it, oh yeah, definitely this person's going to be in it, and then them just fail. and I've said that before during the Batman podcast, but I like just the super speculation, because that's what Disney's going to do. They're just going to ride, spin that fucking top, and they're going to ride you all the way up until premiere. And it's like Thor. Thor is the first one I've seen that doesn't have a shit ton of people speculating about who's going to be in it.
No, because no one really knows.
Everyone's up front though. Like the trailer's very up front who's in it. But like that's it. Like it's fucking amazing that Thor can do that. But like a Spider-Man movie, like I remember that coming out, and it's like, oh man, there's going to be 2 Spider-Man movie. The 2 people, like Tobey Maguire's coming back for sure. Fuck yeah,
Andrew Garfield.
That fucking liar. He's never showing up. No one likes him. Fuck him. And then you're like, holy shit, they brought him and the fuking cast with them. Yep. They made him a sad sack, but yeah. They brought him back. And this one, they kind of pull the wool over your eyes a little bit, because I don't know what you felt going into it, but based on the trailers, I saw it as there's a big bad, Wanda's involved, Doctor Strange is involved, and this new chick is involved, a fairly new character, and you don't know who the bad guy is.
Honestly,
they were able to hide the fact that Scarlet Witch was going to be the bad guy, because you're thinking, oh, she's having a crisis that he's probably helping with while helping this girl, and it's bleeding through. Yeah. That's all I got from the trailers.
I was going to say, I thought Wanda was going to be a villain by proxy, a villain by accident kind of thing. Like everything she's been doing with the Darkhold to find her children messed things up, and she wasn't aware, and she would be the only one that would be able to fully take care of it, and she would have to use the dark magic, and that it maybe sets up her being a big bad for the next movie. Honestly, I thought one of the coolest transitions was when Strange went to her the first time, and she was in that huge meadow, forest, whatever, of the beautiful trees and the white flowers.
Her orchids.
Yes.
Orchids.
And Strange immediately called it. And you thought it was just kind of an odd line. And he was like, it smells, real. She's like, it's because it is. I put the magic behind me. And then she slips up, because he never said America's name. And she was like, well, why don't you just bring America here? And you see it on his face immediately. He just kind of stops, and she stops. She's like, you didn't say her name, did you? He's like, no, I didn't. And then all of a sudden it does the WandaVision hex thing, where it kind of circles around, and you see just the whole desolation that's happened all around because of the dark magic. I thought that was cool, because you really weren't expecting that to a point, because you kind of imagine the whole idea of the hex being just WandaVision, just something interesting they created to create Westview. Not that she would be continuing to use it on such a large scale. I thought she would have learned her lesson.
Yeah, I think she was able to even just to go into the whole, he could teleport into it without problems, without having to interfere with that bubble or whatever she had, that barrier. And I thought that was very unique. Yeah. Now, after I would watched the movie, like a month later, I think it was recently, I saw concept deleted scenes they did. And before Doctor Strange, one of the concept deleted scenes was before Doctor Strange shows up, Mordo shows up first. Like prior to Doctor Strange saving America Chavez. Yeah. That early on. And he's trying to take her down. And she puts him down. That's why we don't see Mordo except in the other dimension. Yeah. But they took it out. It was on those Disney's Master Makers or whatever.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And they had took it out because they want to keep Mordo in the series. Right. And they thought, just going in straight out with killing a variant Doctor Strange, and then going into the next scene with Mordo, a villain that we can use later on down the road.
Yeah.
And just get cut down so
Immediately.
quick. Because going into the first movie, at the end of the first movie, Mordo's objective is get rid of people with magic. Mm-hmm. And who else would you start next with, except for the one person who's done a lot of damage? This red bitch. The Red Ranger.
But not in. And back to the Sam Raimi-isms. I mean, by that point in the movie, when the Shumagorath lookalike is attacking America, and Strange saves the day after jumping out of the window at what's her head's wedding?
Rachel McAdams.
Yes.
Hey, shout out again. I want to say this one more time. They were casual as fuck about watching shit getting destroyed. The civilians in the fucking MCU are dead to the world. Like their PTSD is just overcome. Like they are done. Like they're just like, yeah, take me. I don't give a shit.
I will say one at the very beginning of that scene, there was a Sam Raimi-ism that I've not seen any of the people doing breakdowns and stuff. No one's really called it, probably because it's not a strictly him move, but it's been vacant from every superhero movie that he hasn't done. At that exact scene when Strange looks down and sees just random cars moving because the Shumagorath character's got himself cloaked, so he just sees all this weird shit happening. There's literally a quick shot of camera kind of down, looking up at him perspective. He kind of is looking past the camera, finishes his martini, and walks away.
Yeah.
You've not really seen a shot like that, but you see it in Spider-Man movies. Like something's going down, it shoots to Peter Parker looking at it and walking off, or jumping into action. Yeah. And you've not really seen that a lot from different movies. So I just thought that was something my brain immediately clicked when it just kind of showed that quick shot of Strange finishing in his martini and just kind of turning around, sitting it down, pulling the cloak out, jumping out. Yeah. It's like that was just a cool little thing that I feel like was a Sam Raimi directed moment.
If you watch it in a superhero film or anything like that, it's I gotta go to work kind of thing, especially in the Spider-Man movies, like, fuck, I gotta go work. And I think that's kind of funny, especially from Sam Raimi. I can see him seeing like a superhero's point of view of just like, fuck, I gotta go to work.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't like, he's got nothing,
Yeah.
He just makes money appear, I guess. I don't fucking know. He's not technically the Sorcerer Supreme no more.
No,
because he disappeared.
And he was never on the Stark payroll.
No, and he didn't have to be. He's a fucking magician. He'd make money by going to like birthday parties and summon a demon bunny out of a hat.
The magician.
Yeah, he's like a magic man. Yeah. Oh, is this your card? No, loser.
Bitch.
Yeah. Just spit on by a kid. He's like, I'll send you to hell. But the monster though is a hell of a pull from H.P. Lovecraft and stuff like that. That was used in Marvel.
Yeah.
But the way they designed it was kind of bad. And like if you freeze frame a scene where he's just like going toe to toe with it, it looks like it would be the cover of a comic.
Oh
if you
yeah,
were to make a cartoon, giant monster with a bus, and he's flying in the air, kicking its ass. That's fucking good.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of practical effects away from them.
Oh yeah.
Especially the ledge scene where she gets hopped up on the ledge and she's about to fall. That's all. Going back to the first Spider-Man movie, that's all like brickwork. That's all sandstone being snapped.
Okay.
Right? That isn't like CGI bricks and shit. They built a set. They put her on top of it and told her good luck. Like,
yeah.
And I
Toby did it. You can do it too.
Yeah, and he was drunk. But like, it's Sam Raimi is very good at using more practical effects in his stuff, especially he had nothing really to work with when the Evil Dead series came out. Yeah. And it's all practical effects, and he talks about it in his movies. It's like, hey, how did you make that like one scene where the demon's head explodes? Oh, it's made of bologna. And it's like, oh, that's disgusting. He's like, but it looks cool, don't it?
Well, it's like Night of the Living Dead using fried chicken and chocolate syrup.
Yeah. But like even with the whole like puppeteering of the giant like deer head in his movies and stuff like that, yeah, it all works out.
Yeah.
And I would like to see more of that because, Jurassic Park back in the day did it.
Yeah.
There was practical effects, but there was CGI. But you can meld the two. That's why Jurassic Park is kind of like the perfect movie, is because there's no movie that looks like that anymore. All right, no one bothered to take the time to do that again.
Yeah.
And CGI now is fucking fantastic. It's almost on that that one border, the what is it called? The Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, Uncanny Valley, yeah.
Which is scary. Like there's going to be a moment where the Uncanny Valley, we surpass that, and then you have to allow an instinct to kick in. Because like I play some like Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, all these games that came out, even Fallen Order, they look fantastic in their movies. And we had talked about it last podcast. Why not just do another movie like that, but CGI?
Yeah.
But what if we did it to the detail of what an Unreal Engine 6 can do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I would go to the theater and watch a movie like that.
But yeah, the CGI stuff is like, even the beginning of it, that's one of the cool things about it is like, even though you are implementing so many tactile and real life things, that whole intro scene was just a beautiful CGI landscape of like, what was it, the center realm or something like that?
The mirror realm.
Well, no, it wasn't the mirror realm. It was a shared universe realm. Like there was only one of it, and it was kind of like the divergence or the convergence rather of all the different multiverses, because they were trying to get the Book of Ashanti, and there was only one Book of Ashanti. It's not like different universes had one.
It was just like a pocket realm that held like a special thing.
Yeah, that pocket realm is just absolutely nutty looking.
Yeah, and it looks more dangerous than it is because like later on we find out that giant monster is not there. It was sent there.
Yeah, by Wanda.
Yeah.
And that was the crazy thing, rewatching the movie with all of that in perspective. I'm just like, God damn, you cold bitch. Yeah. Speaking of, what did you think of America Chavez? Because heading into it, you actually had a whole lot of high hopes, and you were just like, I think America's going to be a really cool character, and this, that, and the other.
She was. She's fairly new in the whole like canon, and that's what I really wanted to see going in. You know, we all know who the X-Men are, the Avengers, Thunderbolts. You know, we all know who the Spider-Mans. We know all the villains. We know all the heroes. We know their backstories going into it. Give me something new. It doesn't have to be my demographic. It does not have to appeal between someone 18 and 45, white male. It does not have to appeal to that. Just make something fucking new.
Yeah, and good.
Take something new, like the Miss Marvel thing. If you actually sit down and like address it, it's an original character. She's only called Miss Marvel because she's a fan. But like she has a Mr. Fantastic-esque ability, but she has a unique story, a unique background. It kind of goes with like the X-Men storyline, which was, hey, we're different. Everyone else hates us. She's going in it without that mentality, but it develops because people hate it. On the outside end of the fans. You know, the fans become the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what.
We'll save that for the Star Wars episode.
Yeah. But like, even the majority of fans, can acknowledge like, yeah, that's a solid character. What's her one power? It's an X-Men-esque power. She's kind of like Jinx a little bit. So she just opens up dimensions.
Yeah, star portals.
Yeah, and that was a cool thing too. The star portal shapes. It is just like, that's very unique. It's not like a witchcraft thing.
It separates it from the sling ring look. It separates it from a different character that does a teleportation look. So it's like everyone has like their own look for the way they jump through dimensions and portals.
And it works out really well because we're getting a new look, we're getting a new ability, we're getting a new character. Three things we really need. Is it enough to build a movie on? No. But what if we introduce her as the second listing on the sheet? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, starring Benedict Cumberbatch in America Shop. The girl that plays American Sniper. Give her give her the second billing on the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Let people know, like, hey, this is who's in the motherfucking movie. This is what it's about. It's about a girl on the run.
Yeah.
Being helped by top tier villains and heroes, trying to get from point A to point B without being murdered.
and that was the thing too, is I think that was actually a really good way to introduce her character, because we got her backstory and everything. It didn't belabor any sort of singular thing, and almost kind of gave her more of a backstory than we would have typically gotten. Because imagine if we got the America Chavez Disney Plus series or movie, okay? And the plot was she got scared by a bee, opened up a portal, her moms flew through it, and then Ever since then, she's just been out on the run. Now, all of a sudden, someone somewhere somehow wants her power. That would just feel a little contrived. And then we find out it's Wanda. It's like, no, why does Wanda want this person's powers? But because it was connected to a Doctor Strange movie, Strange was there to anchor the whole thing and be the bridge between the two. You actually cared about America's powers even more, and you felt the gravity behind it because you didn't have just a character that's kind of off her rocker a little bit now trying to siphon someone's powers. You've got someone like Doctor Strange that, at least until maybe the last quarter of the movie, had his head on straight, literally and figuratively, also sees the strength of her power. So now we as the viewer go, oh, she is very important. This is a very important character and skill set. So that when she does pop up in another series, we're like, oh shoot, yeah, it's that. Same thing with Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye series. That was a perfect way to introduce her character. If she had gotten introduced any other way, I think she wouldn't have gotten as much praise. No. But they're doing very good at introducing kind of like the new guard to the series.
Like, the thing about America Chavez, I don't think they're going to add her to that new guard. I think it was a great...
You don't think she'll be part of the Young Avengers?
No, I think she will be a gateway character to other movies. Someone we meet along the way.
Okay.
So, like, if you think about the villains in Marvel that we've seen, Thunderbolt Ross,
R.I.P.
Ghost from the Ant-Man movie, the second Ant-Man and Wasp movie, a couple other villains like Baron von Zemo and stuff like that. People who are grounded a little bit, those will be the bad guy. Those will be like the Thunderbolts, your
Dark Avengers,
your U.S. agents and stuff like that. Because she's way the fuck up here in tier of ability, she'll be like the Doctor Strange and show up when the big call comes.
Or Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but like she'll be that big one that shows up.
I mean, that could very well happen, but at the same time,
I think she'll show up in probably the Marvels movie, but I don't think she'll be part of any type of Avengers set just because her ability deems her to travel.
Well, that you could say the same thing about Doctor Strange being part of the Avengers. Technically, he outclasses everyone outside of Thor when it comes to strength and abilities. Thor would probably be the only person that could outwin only because of his strength and Mjolnir. But think about what the Young Avengers group would be. You've got someone like Kate Bishop, your Hawkeye. Spider-Man's probably going to be part of it, so you got a Spider-Man. And then Miss Marvel might be. And she's got just kind of, like you said, Mr. Fantastic type powers. You really don't have someone extra like a Doctor Strange. So I could totally see her getting wrapped in with all that and being the additional help for a Kate Bishop and a Spider-Man and everything else.
You know, it always comes back down to writing at the end of the day. The only problem I have with it is like if you're gonna make her part of that, give her more than one ability.
Oh, I think she's gonna find more.
Yeah. Because her one thing is, and it's fucked up, they made it kind of like a niche where she can just open portals between dimensions.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't have her like bouncing between them, not using them like a teleporter or anything like that, trying to get behind somebody or anything like that.
Right.
And plus, if you notice, when it activates, it's like a fucking vortex from hell. It sucks everything in. So, like, if she decided to open one near the sun, like, it'd kill a person.
Well, see, and I think that's what makes it a really interesting moveset, though, because it's not like the teleportation or different kind of dimensional jumping that we see from other characters. It is a specific niche type skill set that could just come in handy in dire situations.
There's a lot they could do with it. I would hope they, if they do, great. Now you have another original cast member who can go in and, be a mainstay character.
Yeah.
And be backed up by pillar characters. So
right.
One character I've noticed who's been in the MCU a lot is Wong. Wong has appeared in multiple fucking movies. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in Thor. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like he showed up in Shang-Chi as a niche thing, which carries over
fighting
into,
with Abomination, which it was a staged fight.
Yeah, but it goes into She-Hulk because we see Tim Roth, who plays Abomination from the Ed Norton Hulk movie, as like, hey, I could turn into this thing whenever the fuck I want to. Wong boosts me out a little bit to get out, get some air.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. And there's just like, why is he in a cell and why is Wong breaking him out just to do this one little fight? and then whooping his ass and then putting him back in a cell. It's just like there's a weird dynamic. Is he as bad as he thinks he is? You know what I'm saying? So, and they're still using the same set screening they did with the background, and Wong just being like at the end of the in the middle of the movie and at the end of the movie. So the end credits of that movie was, hey, we're looking at the rings. Mark Ruffalo shows up with a broken arm. He's not the Hulk, but he shows up. Captain Marvel's like, hey, those things are a beacon. We need to get rid of those fucking things or do something with them because they can't figure it out. And I think that's going to set up more stuff for his character to be like I don't want to say like a Stan Lee character.
Yeah.
But like a mainstay anchor character.
And I love that because I love Wong as a character. I
he's
think
fucking funny.
He's great. He's funny, and I keep forgetting I think the actor's name is also Wong. Either way, if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. But no, I could have swore like I saw like a press thing and they actually referred to him as Wong. But the actor is extremely good at playing that straight-faced comedy, like that deadpan, I'm being serious, but what I'm saying is funny way. And he's also a very good, like, emoting actor.
Yeah.
Like, when shit gets real and it's like, you see the intensity on his face. Like, he does, because it does feel like sometimes, or at least in the early days, second-rate actors or second-tier characters in these movies would not really phone it in, but at the same time, you could tell they're like, I'm not entirely sold on this. This is a movie for kids, you know, that kind of mind frame. He does not do that.
He was at a show on Netflix. They only had 2 seasons, which is kind of sad. He was in Marco Polo. He plays Kublai Khan, which is the grandson of Genghis Khan, another ruler. And he does a fantastic job. This man is a monster of a human being in the history of the world. But you kind of feel for the motherfucker in the show. Like, I watched that show and just like, fuck, Kublai Khan was right the whole time. And this man diverted a river to erase a town. So keep that in mind. This is the same kind of situation we've had with Snowfall and Franklin, who sells crack. I love Franklin. Congratulations on the war on drugs for winning the war on drugs. But like, he does a fantastic job. And, you know, that for him to be picked in the original Doctor Strange movie, along with some other castings and stuff, like, I hated the fact they got rid of the bad guy from the first Doctor Strange movie. Yeah. He would have been a great villain just to add to the element of the story because it's Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen is the perfect villain. He played Hannibal Lecter. He played the bad guy in Undead, which is a Western. And he does a very, very good job as being scary but subtle. So this goes back to something we talked about earlier in a couple other podcasts. Was does Marvel get rid of their villains too quick?
I think so.
Yeah, and he was part of Phase 2, which I can understand. You know, your cast is getting pretty fucking outrageous. You got the main actor is asking everyone to get $20 million. It's like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, we're trying to make some motherfucking money. But they're making billions of fucking dollars on these things.
Back to Doctor Strange, though, one of the other things I thought was actually really cool was the scene in which it's after Doctor Strange confronts Wanda and he's like, you know, she's like, I'm going to come to Kamar-Taj and I'm going to get that girl. You know, you can either hand her over or I'm going to have to stop being polite or, you know, whatever she said, merciful or something like that. Reasonable. That's what it was. And then when she finally gets in, you know, strikes down, you know, the shields and all that, when she starts figuring out where they are through the puddles and the reflections, that was cool as hell because that felt like another big Raimiism. That felt like something you'd see in The Evil Dead. You know, it's like all of a sudden like her eye is like popping through like the water and shit, and they're having to cover it up. And then like the way she crawls out of the TV and crawls out. It's like the scene of the kid crawling out of the TV, of her crawling out of the gong.
Yeah, that's Margaret, your character.
Yeah,
but like yes. So that kind of adds the elements of other horror movies he's done. The whole twitching, bones breaking, other joints creaking and cracking, muscles tearing. It adds to kind of what you said was kind of the horror element.
Yeah. Which is something that we've really not seen in Marvel property outside of the animated What If, where we finally saw some Marvel zombie stuff.
And that's good though, because you don't want superhero movies to just be superhero movies or Star Wars just to be Star Wars films. Hey, let's watch a Star Wars film without Jedi and make it an espionage movie. Mm-hmm. It was perfect.
Yep.
Let's make a Captain America movie, a man who's grounded in somewhat reality, and do an espionage movie because he works for the military. He works for a secret organization. Let's make it an espionage movie, like a 007.
And then have him find out that the thing he's been working for ever since he got unfrozen is actually the bad guys.
Yeah, then, it builds.
Yeah.
Just that's what the new 007 movies are so good is, it builds a new universe, picks up. And I think with Love and Thunder will be probably more of a like less actiony and more of a drama.
Really?
It'll be a comedic drama.
Okay.
Because Taika Waititi is always fucking hilarious. Even he has that deadpan attitude too. He was actually in that movie I watched recently, Free Guy.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy. But like even the Spider-Man films, they could delve a different way. It can't, instead of just being, Spider-Man saving the day, let's make it a mystery. Like make the villain chameleon, actually have him use his brain and investigate. And I think that would ramp everything up.
Well, I think the reason I don't think they've really been afraid to do that. I'm just surprised they went the direction they went with the horror aspect. Because the reason I am though is because a lot of the stigma that they've been, honestly, I feel like they've been trying to fight is that these Marvel movies, well, they're comics. Comics are for kids, and you don't want gratuitous violence or drugs or sex, and think about even the company they're with, Disney. That they will Photoshop out Walt with cigarettes between his fingers. So it's like they are vehemently anti-tobacco and all this other kind of stuff. So for them to allow a Doctor Strange movie and Sam Raimi to kind of position the middle of the movie to be a miniature horror movie, big props on them, because let's go ahead and kind of get to that scene. So America and Doctor Strange fly through a couple different multiverses and land in this utopian type place in which they're grabbed and taken into custody, and you find out it's the Illuminati, which had Charles Xavier from the X-Men movies, which was really cool.
No, not just cool. When he rolls in on the yellow wheelchair, floaty wheelchair, and then just to the background music, whoever was that was my jam. That was my jam.
I saw you out of the corner of my eye, like you did lean up a little bit. You're like, oh, this is cool.
Granted, the place we did it, I would fall asleep with that motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
if I decided to have a drink and just sit the fuck back, I would have fallen asleep. I don't care how good the fucking movie was.
But yeah, so we got him. We got a different version of Captain Marvel with her friend that was that had the kid that gave the cringy line. If you don't do it, what kind of example are you setting for me as a mom? I'm like, no, shut the fuck up, you kid. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Quit making this.
So she becomes the Miss Marvel. Mordo is Sorcerer Supreme because in that one, Doctor Strange is dead.
Yep. And then we have Black Bolt,
which I thought was a great pull because they got the original guy, Anson Mount, to come back. And even with, the kickback that show got, and it was terrible.
It was.
But there's no shame in the actor.
Yep.
There's no reason why that actor can't be brought back.
Same thing with the Amazing Spider-Man movies. No Way Home did not change my opinion. I still don't like those movies, but I have a different opinion as Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man now. Because he had better direction, he had better writing. I loved him in this new movie. I still just don't like the way the writing was on those other ones.
And then you had Miss Carter,
yes.
Captain Carter, Captain Britain show with a jetpack. I thought was kind of funny, which kind of adds like a novelty to the whole like superhero thing. I'm just like, some Rocketeer type shit. Let's throw that in there. That's for you, Paul.
and then the coolest one was Reed Richards, Fantastic Four Reed Richards,
the smartest man in the world,
played by fan casting.
Yes.
What's his head?
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. Yeah. And holy shit, that was the moment. It's like in the back of my head, I'm sitting here going, they're going to pull something out because the rumors, all the rumors leading up to it is that Tom Cruise was going to be an alternate Tony Stark, which I have now heard he could not have done. And he agreed to be part of it, but the filming was done at the same time as Top Gun.
Yeah.
And he was not able to split his schedule. And that's the only reason we didn't get that universe's Tony Stark as Tom Cruise. But he was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I think that'd be funny. That'd be fun.
I wouldn't have wanted him in it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the reason I would have, because, okay, so the John Krasinski thing, that's an inside nod because ever since, well, actually even before Marvel bought Fox, that's been the fan casting. They're like, make him Reed Richards, make him, put him in the Fantastic
Him and his
Four.
wife as Mrs. and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're like, this honestly looks right, and they're great producers and, actors, put them in. So I would have liked if we had gotten the Tom Cruise Iron Man because that was the fan casting before they settled on Robert Downey Jr. So that would have just been a fun little in call to that. And plus,
All right, so if it's the Illuminati universe, the 616 Prime or whatever, would you want him to be the ultimate Iron Man?
you can put whatever name on it. I don't care.
That's what the fans wanted, was him to be the Iron Man who held the stones.
Yeah.
Who was above all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have wanted that. If you're going to do something like that, just make another goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's all-star talent. If you have the fucking material, make it the all-star. Make it another one.
Yeah.
Now, let's say Multiverse of Madness. Do Iron Man Redux, and at the bottom of it put 616 Prime.
Yeah.
Or Iron Man Prime. Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do. One thing. Done. Your fans, you're fucking happy. Here's your new goddamn toys. Here's your new Legos. You're done. You're happy. You're done.
But not in this movie though.
Of all the ones I wanted to see was Namor.
Yeah. Yep.
I could have gave a fuck about all of them.
I had a few friends that were like, I wanted Namor.
Because they're gonna do Namor in the new Wakanda movie. The Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And I'm just like, all right, that's cool. But Namor would have been the shit.
No, that would have been really cool.
But they did a fantastic job with what they had. Mm-hmm. And they
didn't have it for long. Because this is what I was leading to with all the horror aspects and why I was kind of surprised. So at this point, Wanda learns how to do the dream walking, and she dream walks into another one of her bodies in that specific universe. I forget what the number designation.
Non-witch Wanda.
Yes, non-witch Wanda. Wanda that has 2 kids. So she possesses that body, figures out where Strange is, and goes to that place of wherever the Illuminati hang out. They never gave it a name. Mm-hmm. She beats up a whole bunch of the Ultron bots. And then as she's walking out, she has all this oil dripping down from her face. And they made it like actual oil color. So it kind of had like a brownish hue to it. And if you throw a slight pink light on it, like they had a lot in those rooms, it kind of gives the weird illusion of blood. So you had this visual of Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, waddling, scraping herself through these hallways, just covered in blood, laughing, screaming at this. Holy fuck, it's a horror movie.
It's a Carrie vibe.
Yes.
And I heard that's the big vibe with the new Stranger Things too. But we'll get to that. But what I was going to say to the horror thing was, I think Disney's willingness just to get Sam Raimi on with the blood and violence and whatever was because of shows like The Boys, Invincible, and The Walking Dead. These people are the same studios that said no to those 3 people. Okay?
It's very true.
They said no. Amazon's like, yes, we'll print some fucking money. Why not? We'll put it in a box and ship it to ourselves. And what's popular now? Gritty comics.
Yep.
All right. It's not just for kids. They know what their demographic is. Mm-hmm. They know what the new demographic is going to be. It's people who read The Walking Dead, who read Invincible, who read The Boys, who read stuff like Cross, which do not read that as a disgusting fucking comic. But these are the people who read those.
Yeah.
And, they're not trying to jump the shark with the movies. I get that.
Yeah.
But when you said no to these people, they took a chance and made the blood and violence popular.
Yep.
Okay. Now here comes Sam Raimi. Hey, I used to work for.
Hey, guys.
I made some Marvel movies. You may have heard of them. 2 were okay. The third one was kind of shit. Because
on the other 2 final.
yeah, because I was probably on amphetamine with Toby.
Well, no, that was a lot of studio meddling.
That was. He was probably doing a fat line. He's like, let's make them dance and do finger guns.
Well, that part, yes.
Finger guns, dancing. Hell yeah! I want these people far away from me.
Well, it's what a nerd thinks is cool.
Yeah, and it's cringy as fuck.
Well, exactly, but that was the point. It's like, what would the nerd of Peter Parker think is cool?
But with them pulling him to do that is a kind of a acknowledgement of what people like.
Yeah.
Am I going to get someone like Baz Luhrmann to do it? No. I don't want to make a fucking creature feature or anything like that. But like it acknowledges the fact that, all right, guys, here's your new genre with the superhero.
Right.
And, there's so many horror callbacks. There's the giant monster. There's the going through the mirrors. There's kind of like, he does that really cool shot where it's like a close-up then pull.
Yep.
Which was in the mirror and the puddle shots, which was very cool. He does the practical makeup for the dead body of Doctor Strange. Which
we'll get to that.
Well, they pulled it very early. His body's all fucked up.
Oh yeah. When he's like, prove to me that what because she explained that these dreams you're having aren't actually quote dreams. They're alternate yous in other realities.
And they're making fun of Wong because he's like got some weird fetish dream.
Yeah, he's like, so that dream where I'm being chased naked by clowns. That's real? She's like,
yep.
In some universe, yeah. And you just see like this realization come over. I'm like, oh shit.
But pulling Sam Raimi for something like this, going from the horror scene to the last stand at Carmitage, which there is a fucked up scene, going like concurrently with America Chavez and Doctor Strange in the permanent, the 616. Wong is getting his ass kicked by Wanda. And that one wizard or sorcerer, whatever, Gandalf. Anyway, the one you kind of see he's infatuated with just a little bit. She's like, we got to do what it takes, and she stabs the Darkhold and bursts into flames and dies. And it's like, that's a very serious move. That is a kamikaze move.
Oh yeah.
But not only ramps her the fuck up, but you're like, oh my, holy shit, they're gonna kill Wong. Like this is exactly how he dies. Is her being just super pissed.
Yeah.
Like, her taking a sling ring and opening up hell and just shoving him in.
That was the first time I actually worried for Wong. Because, certain characters have a bit of plot armor on where you're like, they're not going to die. You're kind of curious to see how they're going to get out of this, but they're not going to die. When that sorcerer stabbed the Darkhold, destroyed it, and she lost her concentration, and she looked down at Wong with that face, I was just like it's just for that, because again, a few scenes prior, which is what I was leading up to, talking about the craziness. It's like, we get the Illuminati, then 2 minutes later, fucking Mr. Fantastic's turned into goddamn spaghetti.
Yeah. I just love the whole thing of Doctor Strange handcuffed. He's like, look, you do not understand. I understand you guys beat Thanos. That's cool.
I understand that my Doctor Strange in your universe was a dick. I get it.
And Black Bolt had to kill him. And fantastic way to go on how to show Black Bolt's powers.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it's fucked up because that's what Black Bolt can do. He can fly, he can beat the shit out of you and blow your fucking brains out with a whisper. But when he's trying to explain to him, he's like, hey, there's a hellbound bitch coming for you. Her husband died. He was ripped asunder, fighting this big purple bitch that you got stabbed to death. She will rip you apart. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if she hadn't been blipped out of existence for a little while, she would have killed that motherfucker first.
Yep.
That would have happened. And they're just like, and they play it off, and I'm just like, what? You guys, why you're supposed to be the smartest fucking man. Is everyone in 616 dumb? Like, that's what I think happened in the incursion. Is like a bunch of people died. They became dumber. They become...
Well, 616 is what the universe we've been watching, not the alternate one that had Reed Richards in it. That's not 616.
Yeah, but the alternate one, they talk about, hey, he caused an incursion. A lot of people died. I get that. Did it make you stupider though? Did you let the dumber one beat you to death with a rock? Like, you got to be shitting me. Like, they're so fucking dumb. And then this posturing I didn't like. I'm just like, you think the Avengers would have been posturing to a man who was handcuffed?
Well, see, okay, so here's the difference, though, and this is kind of what I liked about it. You're right. The Avengers would not be doing that. But the Avengers haven't had as many successes as the Illuminati have. The Illuminati are cocky because look at even the city that's around them. Clearly a city better improved by Reed and his knowledge. They've gotten very soft and very cocky, where all of them feel like they're a bit of gods. You sit over there. We've got this. Look at everything else we've done. You think this is a problem? Shh. You other people from other universes worry too much. Which is why even when they landed and got up to Wanda, everyone's striking their superhero poses. They're throwing out their monologues. Something that we actually don't really see a lot from our superheroes. I think it's just a different mindset they have.
Even going into so he's being brought up. And he's like, hey, who the fuck are you? Mm-hmm. And then you see someone throws a shield at him. Literally throws a goddamn shield at it. It bounces, comes back. And it's just like, okay, you're the shield person. Cool. And there's a guy who signs. Okay. Reed Richards shows up, says, yeah, I'm the smartest motherfucker in the room. Okay, cool, bro. Yeah, if we're playing chess, you're fucking fantastic. Great.
Mr. Fantastic.
The Miss Marvel is a cunt.
Yeah.
She threatens to murder him immediately.
Yeah.
And the only thing that kind of brings everything down a peg is Xavier coming. He's like, all right, guys, shut the fuck up. Let's hear what he has to say. And Mordo's like, let's just kill him. And I'm just like, if they were fighting each other, it would be fucking hilarious. It seems like if they were drinking, this would be the motherfuckers to hang out with. Because they'd be like, I got you, motherfucker. I took your hand. But going into that fight, she's coming out of that fucking room, fire behind her. It's the Carrie look. It's the original Sissy Spacek Carrie. Yep. Covered in blood. She's wounded. Mm-hmm. Just, if they had just started playing Hellbent for Leather or something, like, it's just like, dun, 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 dun. It would have been fucking hilarious. Or the intro to Firestarter or some shit. And it would have been
the Gene Simmons version.
The Gene Simmons version. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about on that, go on YouTube and click Gene Simmons Firestarter, and he was being serious.
Yeah, but going into it, all right, so they're striking a pose. All right, they're ready to rock, and at no point does Black Bolt just murder this bitch.
Yeah,
he's like just whistle at her and just blow her the fuck up. That's what he could have done.
Well, again, I think that's what comes with the cockiness. Mm-hmm. They weren't threatened at all, which is why when she was like, "What mouth?"
Yes,
and
that's the Sam Raimi pull, the zoom out, and it's just like, oh fuck. And she's like, what were you going to say, basically? And then he explodes, which was perfect.
Yep.
Which it did it perfectly, and that sets the tone.
Yep.
Of what she's going to do to these fuckers. And then it's Mr. Fantastic turned into spaghetti.
Yep.
And then it's
Captain Marvel
versus Captain America versus Wanda. And I love her first action is a shield block.
Yep.
Just to go against Captain Marvel and just shove her the fuck down. And the cocky, just the look in Wanda's face, like, oh.
Yeah.
A bitch with a jetpack. And she kills her with her old shield.
Well, and honestly, out of all the deaths, that's the only one that sunk me some. Because it's like I saw the Black Bolt one happen, and I kind of had almost felt like you the first time I saw it. I was like, oh shit. Fuck! Like that kind of hyped me up some. I was like, oh shit, things about to get real.
Oh yeah, me and Alex's dynamic when watching terrible, brutal shit is totally fucking different.
Oh yeah, but I was falling into a Chris mood at this moment. I was like, oh shit, hell yeah.
Rutabaga.
Yeah, Rutabaga. and then Mr. Fantastic gets it, and that one cut me a little bit because I didn't really have a connection to Black Bolt. I was like, what the fuck ever. I liked Mr. Fantastic a bit when I was a kid, and I'd never seen that happen, and I was like, ooh, wow, yeah, they really are going something with this. And then, and then the moment because they really built you up with Captain Carter too, because they built you up with the cartoon series, so you're a little familiar with the character. You liked the ending that she and Steve got, in the real universe. So this character you've kind of followed for a while, you've enjoyed, and then they even build you up a little bit more when she even throws out the "I can do this all day" line, and it's like I found myself almost kind of like fist pumping, being like, "Yes, go get it!" And within 2 seconds after that, like you said, shoot. Just that blade sent right back to her, chops her in half.
You would have been
I had no reaction. I'm just sitting there like,
you would have been
that hurt.
You would have been the nail in the coffin for that. Other than that fucking shield, she could have said, "You're no Steve Rogers," and then cut her down.
Oh, well, so no, she would have not known about.
Well, no, she knew Steve Rogers back then.
She wouldn't have known what it meant, though.
No, but she would have been like Steve Rogers. She would have quick associations like in her world, I'm Steve Rogers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, can you imagine that someone she loved died, was the one who was Captain America in another universe?
Yeah.
Like it worked out for her, and it's just like fuck. Right after I found out, zip, gone. She cut your fucking tether, man. You're done, and then. The whole Miss Marvel thing, great.
Yeah.
Crush her with a big fucking statue. I don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
No, that was cool. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was a quick 1-2. It's
Yep.
a combo move. Zip, boom.
Yep.
And the last one, the holdout. Because Doctor Strange at this point is fighting Mordo, and Mordo's been cocky as fuck. He's
Yeah.
like, the Star, and he's becoming that asshole.
You know nothing, brother.
Yeah. And Doctor Strange is like, and like, Kia. He pulls the Dale Gribble Randy Marsh move.
Yeah.
the Kamehameha bullshit. It like gets loose, handcuffs him like a dirty cop,
Yep.
and starts whooping his ass. Meanwhile, Xavier plays a mind game with Wanda, and it's like, really? You should have been a lot more aggressive in this situation, because she just goes back into the dream. Because she's basically the sorceress supreme in her universe,
Yeah.
the evil version.
Yeah.
And she just so snap and like, yep, that's what the Hulk did. That's what the Hulk did to Doctor Strange in the Planet of the Hulk.
Yep.
Strange tried to do that situation. He broke his fucking hand. And I'm just like, that was kind of a pull, the whole let's go into their head and try to do it. And it's just like, you went to the wrong motherfucker. This isn't some rando bitch.
No, I knew it was. As soon as I saw the red smoke, I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know what that red smoke means, but whatever it means, it ain't good for Doctor.
I do like, the one who actually still has brains, Rachel McAdams' character, their doctor.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, free. All right, America, take the fuck off.
Yep.
Let's get Strange and dip.
And that's what I thought was cool about it too, is she was very by the books and was just like, look, I don't care what I was to you in your universe. This is a completely different thing. We have our own shit to watch after. So we're going to treat you as if you're a threat until we realize that you're not. Sorry. And then all of a sudden, real threat happens. She goes, all right, taking chances. Have at it, actual maybe threats.
Yeah, because like the big guys are dead.
Yeah.
At least the Illuminati part are dead. There's probably other Avengers or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
The Fantastic Four still exists. Now it's the
3.
yeah,
The fabulous 3.
Yeah, the terrible threesome. But then it goes into, and right before she does that, America tries to punch her way out. And that's when the first time we see what she can do a little bit, is she concentrates it, puts it in a fist, and tries to break that glass. So she has some sort of, basic attack, basic hit move.
And that's why I said I feel like we're going to see her powers get explored a little more as time goes on.
I hope they don't give her a stupid fucking costume, because in the show, in the comics or whatever, like, where they're pulling from, she doesn't really have one.
Yeah.
She just looks like that.
I mean, I think that's a great little get up, and kind of have that be the differentiating thing where everyone kind of has like this odd costume or get up they wear. And she's like, what? I've got a jacket and some jeans. What's up?
Yeah. Like, but going into
I got pockets. You don't.
Then it turns into, well, Yolanda's got pockets. Then it goes into the chase.
Yes.
And this is what I really liked. I'm just like, did she take the sling ring from Wong? Because I kept thinking about that. I'm just like, just zip past these motherfuckers and just catch them. Do the horror thing. Just make multiple portals and just start ripping people apart. But the chase was pretty good. I do like the fact that she's inhabiting the body of the Wanda of that world.
Yeah.
And she kind of just dips, which is kind of fucked up, because technically when she inhabits that body, she won.
Yeah.
She's there.
Yeah.
Her plot no longer needs to continue. Now she can be the mom and still be Scarlet Witch with those two boys.
But that chase though through like that kind of sewer looking thing, oh my god, that was so cool. And like, okay, and props to Elizabeth Olsen, fantastic, intense actress. How I think they're referring to it all as actors now. They're like, don't differentiate actor and actress; it's sexist. So whatever.
The actress
Chris,
did great.
Chris is like at me on none of my social medias I have.
Oh my god! Oh my god! What will I do?
I'll have to take the brunt of it.
Oh no! Oh no! Drink some water. You'll be fine. You're a friend. You're a friend.
Toughen up.
And then it's just like you halfway through. I hate this podcast.
I hate this show.
And I'm just like, pick up the mic, hold the camera, stop crying.
But yeah, the chase, which leads them to the portal that Universe is Strange made, and it arrives to the only part of the movie that no matter how many times I watched it, I tried to rationalize it. And there has to have been some deleted scene or a recut because it still just does not make sense. They are running, outrunning Wanda. They shut that big gate, and then that universe's the girl that Strange never got with. I keep
Rachel McAdams' character.
She was like, yeah, this is a portal to the Book of Ashanti. But only Strange knows how to open it. And then all of a sudden, he thinks to take the watch off and put it in there. That was the only bit that made me confused because it was also Rachel's character that suggested it. Because he was like, what would I use? What would I use? What would I use? And she was like, Steven. And just points at his watch. And he was like, good idea. And just places it right in the middle of the doorknob. And then it starts rotating and it opens up. That's the only bit that just kind of felt very weird and confusing to me.
Well, you can argue that the watch is an anchor point between all the Doctor Strange, just like the Uncle Ben is for the Spider-Man. So every Spider-Man has an Uncle Ben who died, or an esque Uncle Ben who dies.
Right.
That's their anchor. That's their when we first watched Doctor Strange, he has a vanity over time and watches. The whole point of the first movie is time, controlling time, and that's what gets Doctor Strange involved. So why not make it something simple, something that other characters wouldn't notice? Hey, he's wearing a watch like the old Doctor Strange. Like, did the old one really use a watch? Like, they wouldn't know,
right?
It's like looking at someone's shoes. You don't notice someone's shoes,
no.
But it is something that's an anchor for them, just like the Rachel McAdams character was the anchor for both of them. Just like the boys are an anchor for Wanda. She made fake ones, and this one they're real. So we don't see a Vision
because all mothers make children with magic in one way.
But that's her anchor.
Yeah,
So I can understand the believability of that, and plus it adds a little bit more in depth.
It didn't feel like just all of a sudden randomly like, oh, now we're just going to use this.
Oh, like a MacGuffin.
Yeah, like a random MacGuffin that we didn't think we had until like 2 seconds before it happened. The
worst thing other than a MacGuffin is when they skip it. If you think about it, if you watch a movie and like in the Spider-Man movies, the MacGuffin is Uncle Ben. Mm-hmm. If Uncle Ben hadn't died.
Well, I think a better example is like in The Rise of Skywalker, the MacGuffin was the Sith Wayfinder that they kept having to go, or like the knife.
Yeah.
Which side
that is a MacGuffin.
Yes.
That is the unobtainium that's an Avatar.
Yep.
That is a stupid fucking thing. Because there's no thing that explains why a piece of metal could match up to a planet that's ever changing and destroying a wreckage. So that is unbelievable.
I got small vibes of that with the watch, though.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't, just because it, with the superhero genre, they're all anchored by something.
Yeah.
Because like Mordo still had the staff.
Yeah.
He had the staff.
Yeah, but for it to be okay, let me rephrase it.
For it to be so needed, yeah, I can understand the disbelief.
Or immediately recognized. That I think is my main problem. Not that the watch was the key. I think that's fine. It was just such an immediate, we don't know what to do, beat, Strange. points at his wrist. He doesn't even think of it, and even while looking at it goes, it might work. It's like it just, I don't know, it just felt so odd.
What's worse, it working or him putting that watch in there and just falling off and it's not working?
That
would have been
Yes.
worse. That would have been a lot worse.
No, that would have been better.
It's just not working. They've been murdered in the next scene.
No, use that as like the bit of comedy. Because have her be like, Steven, points at the watch. He goes, I think you're right. He takes it off. The music's swelling, everything. He puts it in, just boom, falls back down. And I don't know, let America or someone be like, okay, what do we do now? And then you hear the doo, 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 and then they just find another way to bust through the door.
I think that would have been the next scene, and that would have been like, you dumb bitch. That would have been the next scene, dumb bitch. But like it opens up to the door of Ashanti, but there is some other doors that goes to where the incursion happened that Doctor Strange has been. That's where the other Doctor Strange is.
Yep. The other.
I call it Doctor Strange 3.
Yeah.
Escape. Escape from the MCU. Because this one, he's batshit insane.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Listen to fucking Bach.
the legit evil Doctor
Yeah,
Strange.
just listen to Bach and Beethoven and be like, I can make this into metal. Like,
and man, their fight scene, I saw some flack with it online. Like people were going like, 10 out of 10 movie. My least favorite part though was the music fight.
really, that was the battle. I thought that was fucking awesome.
I loved the music fight.
I'm not even a musician, but I fucking loved it.
I didn't even like it from a musician standpoint. Well, okay, let me phrase that. I didn't like it from a I play music standpoint. I liked it from a I understand music standpoint because they were using the different notes and like the way they were catching it made it like, the way you would write out notes on, sheet of paper. So it's like, just using those different things. And my favorite little bit where they're at each other. And Strange just kind of looks off to the side. You see his finger go up and just kind of like pluck the air, and he plucks a harp. Yeah. And you see this one little teeny tiny note about the size of a fly kind of floating into the ball. And then it's like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he had more than power to fucking defeat him out. And that one gets blasted through the fucking window and impaled through the chest on his fucking Nightmare Before Christmas Tim Burton chain link fence he's got outside.
I think it would have been cool with the whole like the string part, if just a quick little riff of Master of Puppets or something. String! And I was just like, yes!
Although I will say the use of I don't know the names of classical music.
It was Beethoven and Bach.
Yeah, but the ones of like the da 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 da.
Yeah, 7 or 7.
Yes, I thought that was a really good use of that.
And they changed it up, because they play.
Each one's a little different.
Each one's different. There's a part by Chopin. There's a part by Bach. There's a part by Beethoven, and they keep throwing it back at each other. And it's just like these guys are knowledgeable of music because they admire their hands.
Yep.
One of those things was they played music. They were a surgeon. They were this. They were that. They were tippy top echelon of human being.
Yep.
And that's why they became a superhero. So. I think it was hilarious that was a comedic part for me. They were able to add that to it because people are gonna like a year from now someone's gonna have pull that fucking scene and just throw fucking like The Offspring at Weezer or some shit. Just redo it.
Yes, I'm surprised that's it's probably got to get out on DVD first, but that's gonna be a meme format.
Yeah. Toto by Africa. It is like
Electric Avenue.
Oh fuck, Electric Avenue. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, see, I hit you on that one. You weren't expecting that. And but yeah, so basically it's all just kind of leading up to that evil Doctor Strange kind of telling him beforehand that you can dream walk. And, it's okay. I did the dream walking. He's like, okay, well, give me the Darkhold. He's like, no. Yeah. He's just like, but you just told me how to do it. He goes, I know. And like, then give me the Darkhold.
This is how drugs are sold, man.
Yeah, you told me about
I gave you a little taste.
Now give me the Darkhold. No. So he finally dies. He gets the Darkhold. And Rachel McAdams' character comes in and she's like, but how are you going to get to Wanda?
First she warns her. She's like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah, and he's like, don't worry about me. And he's like, I just got a dream walk to another body. He goes, but I thought, how are you going to dream walk to your universe if you're here? You need to have a live body. He goes, no one said anything about being alive.
Yeah, and then the zombie.
Yes!
And then, so there's a part with the whole, there's a foreshadowing of it's like, you can't inherit dead bodies.
Because you'll lose your soul to the damned.
Yeah. So because the damned are going to want that. And this is kind of like a multifaceted kind of stair step a little bit. So he gets there, he creates it. They start building in him, and then there's an artifact in the room. It's a vase of some kind. I like that Rachel McAdams was with Doctor Strange long enough to know what the fucking things he did.
Yeah.
Because she pulls one out like a fucking bazooka, takes a candle,
Wham!
and just fucking obliterates some fucking demons.
And that's another Sam Raimi reference. The voices of the demons and the design of the demons are very similar to...
The Deadites.
Yep.
Yeah, so you could actually hear some of the Deadites from Evil Dead 2, which was... I'm trying to remember what Bruce Campbell's girlfriend's name was, because Bruce Campbell's in it.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention that part. He makes round pizza balls.
Yes.
And gets beat to death. Calls America Chavez a thief.
Yeah.
Because technically she is.
Well, see, that was actually one of my favorite little inside Raimi jokes is when he possesses his hand and he starts punching himself.
Yeah.
It's like, that has to be an Army of Darkness reference. Yeah. It has to be.
That's an Evil Dead reference.
Or Evil Dead, yeah, right,
But
yeah.
Well, it's all the same. But, just like... She pulls it, shoots these fucking demons, but you could definitely hear the voice of the girlfriend when she comes out of the grave from Evil Dead 2. And I'm just like, oh my God, how do I recognize that? Of all the things I heard in the movie.
Yeah.
And I think I was kind of like subconsciously looking for it.
Right.
But he's able to pull the dead body and he's able to, put these motherfuckers in line. He's like, no, you're going to work for me.
And that's the cool shit because she keeps pumping them up. She's like, you're Doctor Strange, master of the mystic arts.
The Grand Wizard.
Yeah, it's easy. You made a fucking face when you said that, too.
To catch it, too.
I was just like, God damn you. But no, she's like, she's like, the spirits work for you. Tame them. And it's like he immediately stops his convulsing. You see him calm down. And all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, shit. He's about to make the souls of the damned work for him. And he's like, fuck you. Yes, I am. You're my cape.
Yeah. Well, that kind of reminds me of like the way the visual is, where he stands up and then you see the multiple arms and stuff like that. That's when I thought in the trailer, oh, that's going to be the bad guy.
I did too.
So at this point, Wong had tried to stop Wanda to get to her dark temple, which was built for her.
And she was like, why couldn't you have teleported us closer? He goes, us sorcerers are not allowed to become that close to the dark spirits. And you just see her roll her eyes, start flying up, and then like just drags him along with her.
Especially to put like a noose around his neck and drag him.
Yeah, basically. But I just loved her acting of
prior,
like just that eye roll and just like, you've got to be shitting me.
The prior scene with Wong is he tried to fight the golems and he got knocked off a cliff. And all you see is, so his special weapon isn't a cape. It's a dagger, which he uses kind of like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
So it's tied to like a sling ring and stuff like that. So you think he dies. You assume he dies because he gets thrown off a cliff. Strange pulls the whole dead man cape, which I thought was a good callback to like Spawn, because the way it moves through the air, it's exactly the way Spawn would move.
Right.
And God, I wish they would just make that a movie again. But so he shows up and Wong is still holding tight. He's passed out, but he's still there.
Yeah.
And then it's the fight.
Yep.
It's the fight. She's got America Chavez.
And the reason they went to the temple is because you find out that the Darkhold is technically a copy.
Yes.
And that the original ruins at this temple is what was collected into the book for easier trading among the witches.
You know there's a multiverse where the Darkhold's like on a PDF. Like
emailed to people.
Yeah, just email, click, or like print it out.
Wanda, I lost my Darkhold again. Hold on, let me go into
What's
my
your
Google.
email address?
Well, go into my Google Drive. Wait, is this V1 or V2? Shit. What was the last modified date?
She's looking for her old phone that had it.
Yeah.
That would have been a more hilarious. That would be a more hilarious movie that it was her old phone.
I need your copy of the Darkhold. It's on my iPad at home.
Which iPad? Which fucking iPad?
Yeah.
The old one. Where's the fucking
I don't have the charger for that one anymore.
Goddamn Europe. But like, it's a hell of a fight to begin
Mm-hmm.
with because it's a 3-person fight.
Well, leading into the fight, I love when Strange swoops in, takes care of those golems for Wong. Wong looks at him and he's like, Strange! And he kind of turns around. He's like, I don't want to know.
Yeah, you broke like every fucking rule.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't want to know. Just save our ass. We'll discuss this later.
Yeah, and so the fight starts, and I like how she's holding her own. She holds her own very well.
Wanda.
Yeah. America Chavez, he frees her long enough for him just to give her just like, pause, take care of this.
Well, because
he's done.
Well, because she already was like, look, you need to take my powers. I get it now. I didn't understand then, but I do now. This is too powerful for me to contain. Like, you need to take them and control it. And he was like, no, you're going to kick that witch's ass. And that's the thing. And I love, this is the Sam Raimi humor. And I was not alone, thankfully, because I wasn't able to control myself. But like me and about 3 or 4 other people busted out laughing when he was like, you're gonna kick that witch's ass. It kind of clips to her, she kind of cuts a smile, it cuts back to Zombie Strange, really super close zoom in, and he does a wink. And it's just like, yes, Zombie Strange winking is the simplest, stupidest thing, but it's like that made the scene.
Now going into like the whole like her controlling it, she's able to open a portal to where OG Strange is at. Or first she does it to the family.
Yeah, she does it to Wanda first.
And
very impactful.
yeah, it's fucked up. Really,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh no, I'm your mom. Like, no, the fuck you're not. You're a witch. Fucking back the fuck
Like,
off.
imagine just the reverse.
Because the
of
other
that.
Wanda got back home.
Yeah. And by the way, other Wanda didn't seem freaked out. Like, because she woke up in that pocket dimension where the Book of Ashanti was supposed to be.
Yeah.
She just wakes up there and she's like, huh? And then floats back up to the door and you don't see her again. Yeah. So she's like just totally cool with this like, I slept walk again and now I'm in a pocket dimension. Might as well get back home.
Yeah. And I think that's the secret of Wanda that we don't know of that universe is Wanda.
She's getting possessed all the fucking time.
Well, no, she's just really cool with a lot of shit. She's like the MCU civilian. She's like, oh, well, get back to the house. Hopefully it's not destroyed. And then a hole opens, and I just like go to the whole fact that her house is fucking beat to shit because of these fucking people.
Oh yeah.
And the kids are freaking the fuck out. I'm glad they kept the same kids. They look almost the same. I imagine they filmed a lot of these scenes concurrently with the
I would be shocked if they did.
because they plan that far ahead.
Well, plus in child labor laws, like you can't have them brought in too many times. They can't do too long a shoot. So I'm sure that they were just like, hey, we're going to
I bet the
film.
Duffer Brothers don't give a fuck about that.
Disney does.
Because they used to.
Well, no, they legit do because even with the new Kenobi series, I don't know why, but apparently there's 2 kid Luke Skywalkers.
Yeah.
And like they have to swap out the character actor every so often.
But no, that it is a very impactful scene because she's like, "You're not our mom.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away." Mm-hmm. And she does. She dips.
Yep. Destroys the temple, and you see a flash of red. But again, Marvel rules. We didn't see the body. I don't think she's dead.
No.
I don't think Scarlet Witch is dead.
Nah. I imagine they're going to pull her away to do some other multiverse thing.
She's going to show up.
Yeah. But, the Zombie Strange is left there. Good.
That's all taken care of.
They get everyone back. America, does the whole Uber and picks everyone up.
Yep. Star Uber.
Yeah. And everyone gets back to where they need to be.
Yep.
Wong becomes Sorcerer Supreme again. They're cleaning up Kamar-Taj.
Strange finally gives him the proper bow at the end, which you kind of saw coming because it was mentioned twice.
Yeah.
It's ritual. No, it's customs. He's like, I'm aware of the customs.
And it kind of just tapers off a little bit. Like it's very subtle. There's no end credit scene really.
Well, there is. It cuts right to it. It's like you see Strange wake up the next morning. He actually doesn't put on his usual watch. You see him put it away. Oh, no, he repairs it. He takes off the broken glass.
Because that's the watch he got in the car accident with.
Yep. So he fixes the watch, kind of metaphorically fixing himself, he felt like, because it felt like he finally moved past his past love and all this other stuff. You see him throw a scarf around his neck. He's walking downtown, and all of a sudden you hear this high-pitched whine in the background right as he kind of starts cutting his eyes. And as the sound overcomes everything else in the screen, he's on the ground. Ah! And then the worst CGI third eye pops up on his fucking head. Now, I will say, I'm not one to be like nitpicky over CGI or if something doesn't quite look right, if something looks a little too rubbery. But my God, it was a half a second. You could have spent a little more time on it. It literally looked like an Instagram filter.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't believe this. I don't believe an eye is there. It just feels like something I would have done in my spare time. And that's not saying a lot.
It's a last ditch. And then we get the whole scene where he's, someone behind him hollers his name, and it's Charlize Theron as Clea, the other Sorceress Supreme.
She's like, fuck you. You caused an incursion. You're going to have to meet my dad.
And it's
I've already met your dad.
Yeah, it's Dormammu.
Yep.
And she tears through the universe.
Cuts it open.
She doesn't need a ring. She doesn't need a star. She cuts through it because she has a knife that does so. And it was a cool scene. It's like, all right, cool. Now we get another story. We're going to get another Doctor Strange movie. And I don't know. Did you see it? Because I don't remember seeing it. Was Doctor Strange will return? I did not see that at the end of the credits. Because they usually did that, especially for Phase 3, was Doctor Strange will return for Marvel's Endgame.
Well, maybe because they're not pushing any sort of big thing right now. They're kind of just leaving you on the, he's going to come back kind of basis.
But like the backstory of Clea is that's his wife.
Yeah.
She's another Sorcerer Supreme. She her hair's a little bit whiter, which Charlize Theron, does a great job. I'm kind of curious if she'll be like an anti-hero or a villain-esque toward the end. I think it's going to be probably kind of important down the road and just the overall storytelling. But yeah, I think they're setting themselves up still. I haven't seen any bad stuff. I've watched the first episode of Miss Marvel. I've not seen any deviations from where I think they're going.
Yeah.
But anything that is there, it's going to be great anyway.
Yeah.
Even the worst Marvel movie is still pretty good.
Well, I think this movie was full of a whole bunch of pros, but if you had to pick one con from it, what would it be? Or like whether it be a plot point or specifically that plot point, not maybe something they missed or they should have included, but like something watching the movie, you just kind of went, but what about blank?
I think a big plot hole would have been just the way they show Wanda dying. Probably a bad show. I think so. I think it's a bad pull.
Yeah.
Maybe don't show her being crushed by a giant temple.
Why not?
No, because I don't want that mystery hanging over the whole time. Like you said, we didn't see them die.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want that fucking like just showing up out of the blue and like them not teasing it or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of fucks up storytelling. DC's really good about killing people.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. They're dead. Straight up dead. Speaking of DC, I think Ezra Miller's might be dead.
But no, I think my only con in this, and it's kind of a plot point, which is in all the universes, because we got also a quick scene of Wanda showing Strange all the different universes that she has kids. In none of those, and not even within the main MCU, what they've designated as 616, not even in that did White Vision ever show up. And that was a little bit of a problem for me. And the reason being is I can kind of forgive him not showing up in the main universe, but like, why was it every other universe he wasn't there?
I think it's safe to assume that in that universe, Vision was killed.
Right, but that universe maybe. But like we saw 3 or 4 different ones in that Vision, and we saw no Vision. And I just found that very odd. And the reason why even it kind of hit me in a weird way for the main MCU one, even though it's more forgivable, is White Vision is circling around somewhere. He was already upset with Wanda over creating the hex to start with. Considering she was creating a large one over her place anyway to conceal how much wreckage she's created with the Darkhold, it feels like that would have been something that he would have sensed and been like, Wanda's doing something again, and showed up at some point in time.
I think he's doing something with Sword. The Sword people again. Mm-hmm. I think Rambo's character, getting powers, is now the head of Sword. They're getting ramped for Secret Wars. I think it's gonna be a nice tie-in with Samuel Jackson being like, "Hey, we got Rambo, we got fucking Vision, we got."
So every time you say Monica Rambeau, I just think you're talking about Rambo,
yes.
And I'm like, what?
They drew first blood. But that would be a fucking line though. They drew first blood, but like it's the Creed, Sam Jackson. And I think that's what they're ramping up toward.
Oh yeah,
because that'll probably be his last movie.
You think so?
I think they'll kill him.
I think Secret Invasion is going to be a series, though, isn't it?
I'm not sure, but I think they'll finally probably kill him.
Because
it'd be fitting.
Then he shows up as Mace Windu somewhere else.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? I'm still waiting for that in the Star Wars universe. Just a two-armed Sam Jackson, just with a purple lightsaber.
He's got to have an Anakin arm.
Oh no, he's got two. Maybe both his arms got lopped the fuck off.
No, only one.
No, it was both.
It was one arm. Yeah, when Anakin only chopped off one arm, and then after that they force pushed him through the window. Or lightning bolted him through the window, rather.
I put $1 on two arms.
I might have $1 upstairs.
Yeah, I have.
So I'm feeling pretty confident on this one.
I'm unemployed and I have $1. This motherfucker who's gainfully employed says, "Yeah, I might have $1."
Well, I don't keep cash on me.
Oh, that's right. He lives in 2035.
Scooting everywhere, using my watch to pay for things.
Yeah, my broke ass just bought some liver mush today, and now I feel like a broke hick.
But yeah, so I think this was a really good movie.
You talk about a big problem was the eye. I think if they let Sam Raimi just give him like 10,000 extra fucking dollars, he would have had a puppeteer just make a fucking eye
instead of the big CGI.
Just a big close up of just like a realistic puppeteered eye, just going plop. Tell me that would have been cool.
It would have.
It would have shut a lot of kids up about
like
CGI. No, kids about CGI and everything like that. I think puppeteer would have made a difference. And,
possibly.
And the only end credit we did get was Bruce Campbell.
It's over.
Cackling.
It's finally over.
Just cackling with his pizza balls.
Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think they've done great so far. I think the only Marvel thing that's kind of come out recently that I was just kind of whatever was Black Widow and Shang-Chi. Or actually Eternals.
That is the best Justice League movie you've ever seen. I will say it's fucking fantastic.
But between the different Disney Plus things they've been doing, Spider-Man, and now this, I'm still in it. And plus, Love and Thunder looks damn amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look good. I'm kind of curious where it's going. I'm just going to get sad.
And hopefully we'll have a quicker turnaround on the Love and Thunder one, because the guest that we wanted to get for Doctor Strange actually brought up the idea of us catching Love and Thunder the Friday it opens, and then after we watch it, run back over here and record our immediate thoughts on it. So hopefully we'll actually have a pretty quick turnaround on that one. So that'd be pretty fun. But yeah, the nerds are eating good this year, man. Tons of good new movies and TV shows out. But for this episode of the Couch Potatoes, I've been Alex. And Chris, do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
So, if Spider-Man had showed up in the series, now Tom Holland would have showed up. Doctor Strange would be like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he would have been like, "No, I'm Spider-Man." And he's like, "I don't know who the fuck that is." And like, it would have been a great 15 minutes dialogue, because Wanda probably most likely wasn't affected by the stupid fucking spell, and she'd be like, "Yeah, that's the guy who took Captain America's shield." He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, I wasn't there for that. She's like, "I was. It was cool. It was like there was a thing. He made a Star Wars reference. It was fantastic."